just yeah, intro yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Readhead, and today I'm going to be testing the low end of the 600R. So I'm going to try and flat water paddle it on 3 different boards. I've got a 5.8 here, a 6.4 and a 7.6. So we'll start off with a 5.8 and see what happens.
Alright, what happened with that one?
I just couldn't quite get the initial board speed that I felt like I needed to really then start to engage a good pump and sort of build my speed from there. So not ruling it out, but just maybe not a job for today.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your energy on that. Hey?
Yeah.
Because what is it? It's a 5.
So this board is 5.8 by 17.5 and 80 litres.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
and self-shaped?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And what's your weight?
I kind of fluctuate a little bit, but like around the sort of 73 kilo mark.
Yep.
So like it's pretty great for surfing our local conditions, but it can be a little bit unforgiving. But that's cool. Glad I tried it, and it certainly won't be the last time I try it. So something to work towards.
Oh, I'm sure on bumps you could get it up instantly. And then what are we switching to here now?
So this board is like just another hand shape, but this one's 6.4 by, I can't remember if it's 17 or 17.5. But I kind of use this as a board to sort of travel with or do runs down south with. Just conditions are like a little bit bigger, but still want to sort of surf the big. So hopefully this has got what I need to paddle it up. But we'll see.
This one looks more my style. Alright, no luck?
No, not on that one. I could definitely start to feel it like lift and engage. I just couldn't quite convert it and just build that extra level of speed to really sort of get up and foil away. So that's a project. I think it'll definitely happen, but we'll move on to the next board.
Talk us through like what you were just explaining to me about how, like, in the first 3 strokes, like, tell us about that again.
Yeah, so like, I think, so with these boards, right, like they are inherently, like the board speed is slow. So essentially I'm maxing out my board speed, especially on these 2 shorter ones, within a few strokes. So really the technique is all in about sort of engaging that pump fairly early to actually generate that next level of speed. So same as like a longboard, but you're taking a lot more strokes to get up to your board speed before you then initiate the pump. Well, I'm there within a few strokes and I need to then make the most of that time. And that's why I'm probably pumping so early. So it's just the technique that I use to get these smaller boards up in flat water and the bumps as well.
So you're trying to disconnect the board early so you've got less friction on the board to then engage the foil.
Exactly. And that gives me that next level of speed, which then starts to generate the lift, which then starts to, like, means that I can sort of transition out of it. So yeah, it's just a slight variation in technique between the 2, but it's what a lot of people assume, that these are really hard to get going, and they are if you apply exactly the same technique. But if you start to engage that pump and generate that sort of air gap a little bit earlier, I think people would be surprised about what they can get in the air, for sure.
And these boards are like, they're like the lightest boards I've ever felt.
I guess, look, that's the upside of me being able to make my own boards, is I can play around with things. They're certainly, they're pretty fragile. If I damage them in the wrong spots, it's going to be a repair. But that's okay. I'm comfortable with that, and with that I can then play around with what weight and stiffness and durability and all that sort of stuff I can sort of compromise on. Yeah, so probably the smallest foil I've gotten up on this so far is the 615S. Although I remember that being pretty tricky, and once up, it took a bit to keep it up. But I'm hoping this one might be slightly easier.
And this is the longboard now. What's this?
This is the longboard. So this one's this is kind of last year's race board, but a bit sentimental on this one. But this one's 7'6" by 16, and I think it was about like 3.6 or 3.7 kilos. This one, so pretty light as well.
And what? Sorry, how many liters did you say?
This one's 80.
Okay,
So
they're all about 80.
These are all 80. I think that one's maybe the 6.4 might be 79 or something. But yeah, they're all about the same.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you got it?
Yeah, managed to get it on the 7.6, so still a bit out of puff, but look, it went well, felt good. I could probably move it a touch more forward, I think. That would have made it a bit cleaner. But it actually lifted probably before that I thought it was going to, which is encouraging. So I think the low end's actually pretty reasonable. Paired up with that 151 as well, really kind of brought it up pretty early. And once up, it was.
Yeah, once
alright
up,
to
you
move
kind of
around.
pumped into the wind, eh?
Yeah, it's, like once I've got that initial speed, and if you try and get it high, like it's a pretty friendly foil. Like, you know, in comparison to area, it's good. I'm excited about what this could unlock for some of our local runs and runs down south. So.
Epic. What's the skill of paddling up a tiny foil? Is it just like you just got to have the motor in your arms, or is it technique?
No,
or
it's definitely technique. It's definitely technique. I think one, like when there's nothing else to do, give it a go. But the other thing as well is like you want to break it down into lots of separate components, because it's too easy to go out and not paddle up and go, well, that was a failure. But if you can break it down into those individual components and feel even if you're getting the smallest amount of lift, or maybe you do one kind of paddle pump where you felt a bit more glide than normal, if you can isolate those things, like you're gonna be able to hone in on them and actually just get success. Like it might not mean that you go out and paddle up every time, but you will progressively get a lot better and your skills will get better. I think it's just how you have to approach it.
Totally.
But if the wind's not on, there's no swell, you got 45 minutes to kill. Go do it. You'll sleep well, I promise. It was a cool experiment. I think I can feel it's really close on that, so it's good. I've got like another little personal goal now. So, but like,
do you think it's possible with the tiny one? Never say never.
I'm happy to keep trying. I didn't feel that thing that I need to feel to know that it's possible. But maybe that's just a variation in technique or something else I need to unlock. So yeah, more than happy to give it a go again. I reckon it's definitely there. The thing is, I can feel that it's got much more low end than it probably deserves, at 600 square centimeters. So it makes me like think that maybe it could be, because when up and foiling, it doesn't take too much to sort of keep it going. So maybe it could be, but happy to keep pushing and try and find out. But otherwise, I think that's well in the realm. And honestly, on the 7.6, once I sort of nailed the foot placement, that came up sort of relatively easy, certainly easier than the 6.15. So yeah, I'm excited to get it in the water, get it in the bumps.
That's it,
Sure,
eh?
it's going to shine.
Yeah, totally.